Hello and welcome, everybody. A little bit of a long wait, but we are finally here at Style Esports tonight with Viticulture PInot versus Sand Ninjas tonight. I am Thousand Eyes alongside SeveerBard. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great tonight, actually, Thousand. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I am excited. We are finally getting into this game. And first bands out the gate here. Viticulture on the blue side here. We'll see what they want to take away. It's going to be the Twitch first out here, which I know we were going back and forth on what we were going to see in terms of champions here, because these players do like to play a lot of different positions.
Oh yes, as you know, as we were talking about earlier, a lot of them actually play a lot of marksmen, and then you have the one trick Gragas, as I'm hoping to see here in this draft.
Yeah, we will have to see here. Nope, we're not going to see it.
No,
it is in the draft. It is in the draft. It's just not going to be
there.
seen in the game. So it is going to be taken off. The Vi as well has been a pretty strong meta jungler as well. Just really good at locking down those characters. LeBlanc next on the list.
Oh yeah, and I mean the Vi is also really good because especially into just how Stand Ninjas seems to be really 80 heavy. Being the Vi stops all the lockdown and CC that they may experience during the fights.
Yeah, Karthus also taken away here from Wangbadang, so that is going to be another champion off the jungle pool list here. I'm still trying to figure out who's going to be in what role here.
I don't know. The Karthus.
Okay. It's Davj. It's Davj that's going to be playing jungle here. We do finally have them in order. And Malphite's going to be the last ban up on the top side. So first pick, lots of strong things open. Wukong is going to be the lock in here. So we still have Jinx. We have Aphelios. We still have, a lot of power picks in play here. I'm a little surprised to see the Wukong locked in immediately.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The Wukong. Maybe they just wanted to take it because, there was the one. He does play Wukong a lot in ranked, and it is his comfort pick with it all, too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does make sense from that scenario, but it's still like I'm looking at him like Jinx is really good, guys. Jinx is a good champion. Regardless, Sejuani going to be locked in on the other side here. Can be flex top jungle. We'll see where they want to put that one here as we're waiting on the next pick. And right now, already out the gate, a good front line for Sand Ninjas, and then locking in what seems to be the Xayah here does mean Rakan is able to be taken away from by Viticulture. But Xayah herself has just been a very strong AD carry in the current meta.
Oh, yeah. And also it seems to be that they also play Pantheon on the top side. And from what I've seen is Pantheon Sejuani seems to be really good at locking down every single thing on the map, no matter where they are. So Sejuani is probably a really good pick there. There is the Jinx, though, that you really wanted.
Give me the Melio. Give me the Melio, please. No, they're going to take the Rakan. All right, well, it still makes sense. Viticulture do not want to give the Lovers Duo, so they're going to take that one away. Sand Ninjas now. I would expect to see a support here, as we are just going through our pretty standard like pro-level stuff of just junglers and bot lanes in the first 3 picks here. Nautilus will be locked in. Could go mid. Expecting that to be support.
Yeah, probably expecting it to support, as Nautilus mid is sometimes... not the best.
Yeah. I mean, it is good engage. It also, you can stop the Rakan from getting his knockup if you are pretty quick with the hook. So there's definitely options here for Sand Ninjas as we are getting into the second ban phase. Victor going to be taken away by Sand Ninjas here, just trying to limit that mid lane pool here. Sand Ninjas also trying to set themselves up. They do have the counter pick, which I would expect they want to save for that top lane.
I'm expecting a Katarina ban, honestly, because, she's melee and it can start the Sejuani going off, too, and knowing how roam potential that is, especially detrimental to the Jinx not being able to escape, really, besides using Gale Force.
Yeah. Katarina is definitely a strong pick, specifically Wangbadang does play that, or Wangbadang, that is going to mess me up, man. God, just, please, normal names, guys. We'll see. Shen is going to be the ban away, actually, and Aesol and Yone taken off by Viticulture PINot. So Sand Ninjas, they do have the opportunity if they want to lock that Katarina in. We'll see if they want to lock it in now and try to give their top laner a counter pick here, or if they want to save that to see if the Katarina will work in that composition.
Oh yeah, and I'm starting to maybe see a Pantheon here as mid and top both play Pantheon. Oh, there's the Aurelia though.
Yeah, the Aurelia lock in here, which is interesting because it like to me, Aurelia does have some rough matchups here. So that is the exact kind of pick I would expect that you want to wait for a final pick for here. It does now kind of point out why you want to take off the Shen, why you want to take off the Malphite. Those are champions that Aurelia does kind of struggle with in the later phases of the laning phase. Zilean is going to be locked in here, which I would assume is going to be the mid laner for Viticulture. Now, already here, Viticulture have basically said our Jinx is our win con, and we are putting absolutely everything into her to allow her to carry us.
It must really suck if they have Katarina to stop it all, though. But they do have the Zillionaire to stop all the resets that may happen. So we could maybe look for that too.
Yeah, I think Zilean is just... I think what the Zilean pick here is saying, like, all right, pick the Katarina. Because that is such a hard counter for Katarina because she relies on those resets. So I think they are just saying, you know what? If you want the Katarina, you're going to have to play it into something that is not ideal. But what they did forget is that there are some pretty good ultimates for Sylas to steal, especially the Zilean ult. Will love stealing that one, I think, on cooldown. And that is going to be the lock-in here. So the mid laner will be playing Sylas here as we do start to get ready for our full draft here.
Oh, yeah. Sylas, really gets the Zillionaire stopping a lot of the things, actually. Because, I mean, who's going to kill Xayah with the Zillionaire and Xayah R? There's going to be too much things killing the Xayah, I feel like, that Wukong almost will never be able to touch the Xayah. It's going to be almost a front to back versus front to back genu, almost.
Yeah. As we do move over, I don't think we'll be seeing any weirdness in terms of who's being played where. We'll have to see, though. Now, just going through lanes here, we'll start from the top lane. Set versus Aurelia is... Set obviously is a pretty good neutralizer here, but how do you see that going into the Aurelia matchup specifically?
I feel like it depends on the Aurelia player's skill, almost. As Set is an easier champion to pull off whenever... you can use his abilities basically however you want, and it, works. Aurelia doesn't really have that freedom to do that. Aurelia does if you are, have a decent Aurelia skill. Especially once you get Vamp Scepter or Bork, you can really take over the set, no matter how tanky he is for you, especially with the Bork item that is really good on Aurelia too. So I don't feel like Aurelia is going to have any trouble into set.
All right, yeah, and as we go through their jungle, obviously Wukong has that early gank presence. He just has that damage to put down. And if you do have somebody like the Set or even the Zilean with the double bombs, the slow into the double bombs, does give opportunity for Wukong to help clean up here. Obviously, Post 6 also is very, very good with that teamfight ultimate versus the Sejuani, who is not really known for her early ganks as much as she is just being a really strong mid-game frontliner for these team fights.
Oh yeah, and especially with you having the Aurelia and Sylas and the Nautilus, you're gonna have a lot of melees to proc off almost anyone you want. You can focus down any champion you want in these team fights to go.
Yeah, and then mid lane we've discussed a little bit the Zilean. Obviously not seen as much lately, which I think is important to note because there's not as much you don't have as much experience playing against it, which is always a weird thing. Whenever you're playing a champion, either in a role that is not expected or just a champion that you don't see very often, it's a question of like, do you know how to play against this champion? Versus the Sylas, which has been pretty prominent lately, and does once again have a lot of pretty solid ultimates to steal from here.
Oh yeah, but also like in these team fights that we have going on too, it just feels like Jinx is going to have a lot of things to dodge with Nautilus R and the Sejuani ultimates trying to lock her down. It's going to be very hard for Jinx to maneuver in these team fights.
Yeah, Zilean ult will be very important in that, and then our bot lanes, obviously. The Jinx Rakan versus that Xayah Nautilus. I think for the most part, probably a farm lane. It's just a question of like, is there going to be jungle assistance? Is there going to be a somebody getting caught out? Those are the things that you're really looking for there.
Oh yeah, and the Jinx for Khan is also a very hard lane to sort of gank. The Jinx has the range with their rockets and her W to CS, and Rakan can kind of maneuver wherever he wants in the lane. You can't really catch him
Hmm.
out. It's pretty hard to even do that.
Yeah. So give me give me what team you think is going to win, and give me like a 60-40, like a split. What do you how confident are you in either of these teams?
Just looking at the comps here, I feel like SN Sand Ninjas seems to be having the comp to really lock down the Jinx and really lock down their damage. Because as we were talking about earlier, Jinx is mainly the main damage here. Zillion and Wukong will be doing damage, but they won't be doing the Jinx. So I feel like it's about a 65 about chance that Sand Ninjas have the win on this game. What about you?
Yeah, I mean I agree with you. I think overall Sand Ninjas has what I would consider a composition that has the tools to beat out viticultures. It's just a question of can they work that, right? Because you're looking at a Silas and an Aurelia, they need to be able to get through Wukong. They need to pull off flanks. I feel like if you're 5v5ing, this is a bit of a rough team fight for viticulture because Zillion just resets. Set shield is so huge and hard to deal with. Wukong ult, very, very scary. But I think with that, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for our first game of the night. Guys, do not go anywhere. We will be back just after this. And welcome back, everybody. We are into game one here as we do see a little bit of level 1 shenanigans from Sand Ninjas. Flash Q not going to hit there as Mystic Shadow keeps himself alive. But that is just flash for the Hex Flash on the Nautilus. So one trade for Sand Ninjas, technically.
And I mean, the flash for the Hex Flash is honestly really worth it towards this game, especially in the Zillion with the Silas matchup. Zillion won't have really much to get around the Sejuani ganks that will be coming in from the Silas too.
Yeah, they're going to continue pushing in here, just get a little bit of vision, and then back away. But nothing too crazy. We'll keep our eyes on the mid lane here to see if that flash being down does affect jungle pathing, and we see if DevG does go for the early gank in that mid lane. So far, looking around at our keystones, nothing seems to jump out as super strange to me, or itemization choices. Anything pop out for you?
I see the summon area on the Zillion. Usually in the mid lane, you kind of want to poke a lot, and especially with the Arcane Comet does help with that. Summon area, you're usually running down towards the support area because whenever you speed them up, you get a shield with that. It's usually about a 90 health shield almost, which is really good down the support lane. So maybe the Zillion is looking to build maybe just a one support item just to help out with the Jinx. As we said, that Jinx is going to try carrying this game towards the damage area.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's partially that. You want to have as much capability as we do see a little bit of damage. Bang Badang just getting in there. A little bit of auto attacks on the back end. I also wanted to point out the phase rush on the Sejuani is an interesting one. Does make a little bit of sense when you're looking at these champions that move so quick, like with the Zillion E. So it is a little scary to try and play Sejuani into this, but we should be able to continue on that one. Is the Law TK taking a lot of damage here? Perklow getting both those champions low as I Am Ready has to flash away Ignite Burning. Both champions will stay alive, but lane control is heavily in favor of Sand Ninjas.
Oh yeah, Sejuani almost has nowhere to gank besides the mid, so it's almost like Silas is like, hey, both lanes are pushed up right now. Why don't you come here for this flash of Zillion? Wukong is preparing himself for that right now, saying, hey, Zillion does have no flash. Sejuani's probably looking to gank there. Silas, as you can see, is pinging down towards the mid lane. Sejuani is moving down there.
Yeah, they do want that. Their flash Q going to hit. Is Mystic Shadow going to get stunned up. Has to try and get away, but no flash to help him. And they're just going to continue on. Efficiency going to get stunned up. Wamgadang is very low. Flash, the red buff is burning, but Wamgadang got to stay alive as DevG trying to fight it. Efficiency going to take out the Sejuani in the process, but it is going to be a 1-for-1 in that trade as Wamgadang gets back over the wall to continue getting the kill.
Yeah, and that's a super one right there too. And Silas does have the Dark Seal, making sure getting all the stacks up, being able to kill the Zillion almost. And Silas now has an early game, being able to kill the Zillion. Zillion won't be able to do much to get himself out of this lane phase.
Yeah, really good early gank, and like you said, important that the Silas stays alive in that because it is those stacks. You do not want to lose those on the Dark Seal. So if you do have somebody alive, you want it to be the Silas in that instance. FG just going to clear out some vision, has an idea of where Wukong is as well. Silas is not really in a position to get over there yet, so I think you're just going to have to give up the Scuttle Crab as fighting does continue around the map. Ooh.
Oh yeah, right there. Really, it was canceled like 3 autos. It probably caused a little bit of a trade gap from there.
Yeah, double buffs on this Silas too in the mid lane. Not a fun time here for Zillion. DevG just going to show up for a little bit of support. Make sure that his teammate does not get dove. DevG also now going to get into a bit of a fight. E does not hit from my balls and your balls, but now will back away. One stun does hit. Efficiency is down a level here. Fatty Doink can't really help, but it doesn't really matter. This Sejuani is just pushing off 2 people.
Yeah, Sejuani is one of those champions that can.
Oh my god, yeah, and here comes Wang Badang. That is going to be the Wukong getting over the wall. Just barely. But that does give control.
We can see that Rakan is already making his way up to the top side, maybe trying to get some vision or something.
Yeah, I think he just wants to be up there for the possibility of a fight. Mystic Shadow now has to burn another flash there. Ling Ling does get the one, and that is going to be another kill. Wang Badang picks that one up. A good roam there from Ling Ling.
And these, as you can tell, these like easy champions such as Sejuani Nautilus, and just has these easy lockdowns that you can just almost no brain and randomly just get stunned. What can the Flash Zillion do anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing to remember too is like Zillion hates hard crowd control. He's really fast, but if you have the ability to just lock him down, he will get stuck in place, and he doesn't have an answer for that. So, good recognition on that to pressure this mid lane.
Oh yeah, and that was a hex flash towards him too. So he didn't even have to miss hook. All he had to do was
no. I think that was regular. That was regular flash.
At the early game, you traded flash for flash, Zillion.
Yeah, and Zillion flashed just then.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So it was definitely back up. Regardless, Mystic Shadow now level 6, but still just not having a fun time in this lane. You just throw those little red balls at him. That's the best you got right now, buddy.
Oh yeah, Zillion basically flashing off cooldown since the start of this game.
Still will be relevant though, because remember, the Zillion is not the key portion of this composition. It is that Jinx, who has been farming pretty solidly here. 52 farm on that bot side. Has sold the starting item already just to get that early Noon Quiver, get wave control here versus the Xayah, who has gone for the call, still working on that Noon Quiver. Won't be able to push as easily as the Jinx, at least in terms of just item damage.
It looks like maybe they're looking for Dragon here towards towards VP. There is down towards the bot side. There is 3v2, which could be the Sejuani catching up to Rakan actually.
Yeah, we're seeing vision being cleared here. They were gonna go for a gank, didn't get it, but right now, Dragon going to be the priority, I think, for a while. These top laners going to continue to fight. I think the scary thing here is just both these mid laners have their ult, and Sylas is just going to run rampant here. Can just trade with the Zillion for the revive. And I think both these teams just not wanting to risk it here. It's going to be just Sanda just picking up the Dragon pretty easily as the Nautilus does help.
Oh yeah, and Sylas having 5 stacks on the Dark Seal makes him have almost double Zillion's AP damage right now. So Sylas will definitely be more prominent in the fights than Zillion. Zillion just basically being an R bot and stun bot for the Jinx in the fight.
Yeah, engage on the bot side here. Perklo going to have to use that Xayah ult and will survive here, but it's going to be the flash away from I Am Ready. Overall, I think one trade here for Perklo is ult lower cooldown than that flash. It's just a question of, do you need that exact safety there in the coming minutes?
And it looks like Aurelia is just looking for a freeze and just saying, I'm just going
to Oh, no, we're looking for a fight there. Fatty Doink going to take a lot of damage here, but will flash away. Stays alive, more damage going. My balls in your balls flashes for a reason. Does go into the tower range to try and get the kill, but the ult was not enough, and the Aurelia does pick up the kill.
Yeah, it made it look like he almost had tried igniting him, but instead flash. But he does not have ignite, as we can see now.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a close fight.
Fatty Doink was also like struggling in these fights too. So getting a win here, being able to back safely, get the nice reset, forcing the teleport out of the set, super important here.
Oh, and you see, he's already going tabbies too, is making sure he could, because it's double AB towards top side of jungle. Making sure that
alt mid lane, Davji just going to take out the Zillion, who does get the revive through, so Wang Badang going to steal the Cyclone. Cyclone from the Wukong now, and we're seeing the bombs try to do some damage there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Jinx ult does not get onto the right targets, does not kill. Mystic Shadow trying to stay alive, and the Ignite onto the Sejuani will get one. Ling Ling also low there with the Zillion bomb coming in. Shield will keep him alive. That is, at the end of the day, just jungler for jungler in that fight.
Yeah, but still, I guess a stack on the Dark Seal. This could still make Sylas just really strong in this, getting all these stacks and these kills from assists.
So stack on the Zillion's Dark Seal too. There's something there.
Hey, but Sylas has 6. All right, 6 and 1 are not the same. Okay.
Yeah, that's 100% increase there, as we do see the engage on the bot side. Perklo having to flash away, does not have the ultimate off cooldown yet, and I think Perklo's just dead to rights here. The Law TK picks up a kill. Ling Ling tried to run away. The zap will slow, and that is going to be a double kill going over to the Jinx. Not what you want to see here, as Viticulture relying on that Jinx for the DPS.
Oh yeah, and the Jinx having both those kills and now does have a bounty could really stir up some trouble down towards the team fights.
Yeah, we'll see how much that does bring in when we do see the Jinx back here.
Yeah, and also
Another
I feel like
dragon for. Ooh. Yeah, here we do. Engage. Mystic Shadow just speeds away. We're hitting the point where Zilean is just obnoxious more than anything.
I feel like maybe Sand Vipers is looking too hard towards the Sylas and hoping the Sylas is their carries because right now all the goals into Sylas and all the goals into the Jinx. We'll see how the ADC versus mid matchup kind of works in this game.
Yeah, Set does get nice stun, forces the Aurelia back, and like you said, it's a lot of gold into this Sylas. However, Sylas is very capable going for that Roa, which is just a very good snowball item. Makes you incredibly hard to kill while also getting a lot of damage. The level up is also just really good. So we'll see if Sylas can just be enough of a frontline in these fights to be able to take out this Jinx. That is going to be the big question.
There is a buy from the Jinx on the Kraken Slayer. This could mean more damage, but can they get away from the Nautilus and all the CC that Sand Ninjas does have?
Yeah, and I think it makes sense too because you do just need the damage. Like you are the damage dealer on this team, so it's just very important. Stopwatch burned here from I Am Ready. I think that one might have been a misplay. They're gonna go in anyway. Ling Ling does get knocked up and does go for that ultimate now, as we do see the knockups coming through. You lost one, but it doesn't really matter as Law is just running through forward, flashes in, gets Perklo. Ultimate doesn't matter, and they're just going to keep going over to Davji to try and get the second kill here, or the third kill rather. Davji going to get low. Zap does not hit, and Sejuani will survive.
Jinx being 4-0 could really start. You see a fight towards the Sylas and the Jinx. Jinx being 4-0 and Sylas being 2-0 does serve a little bit of trouble.
Shadow gonna have to burn ult to stay alive. Meanwhile, top lane getting a little bit of a fight themselves. Irelia ult does get popped. Mystic Shadow going very low. Double stun does hit. That means the Zilean is alive. But that is the prize. You don't get anything positive. You just get to live.
That's all Zilean wants to do. And at the end of the day, he doesn't even care about what his laning phase is like. He cares about what Jinx's laning phase is like. And so far, Jinx's laning phase is pretty solid down there.
Yeah, I mean, a 4-0 Jinx at 13 minutes is... In some circles, that is a forfeit, right? Like, that is such a good one. And you have the Zilean as well. Zilean has been getting bullied. He has the R button. That's all he needs right now in this comp. And we will see Dragon going to be started up here by Sand Ninjas. So we're going to see if they can make something happen off of that. If we're going to get a team fight or if it's just going to be the clear and back away.
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to take Dragon.
Oh, Quickness is hit, and now Law is doing so much damage across. That is one reset. Perklo already ulted, trying to get back away, but here comes the Zilean. Double bomb does hit, and Law TK is just burning through the enemy team. Viticulture come out huge in that fight, even though they do get the Dragon too.
Yeah, Jinx stole at the start of the fight and got the resets, and the resets just made it to where she was able to mow down every single person down towards Sand Ninjas.
Yeah, this Jinx has just entirely popped off. It has been the game plan from the beginning, and the game plan is working. Another tower taken down. Viticulture have complete control of this game, currently up about 4,000 gold at 14 minutes. That is really hard to come back from.
Oh, yeah. The only way they can really get through this, maybe they kill the Jinx and get the shutdown, but they need the shutdown on Xayah or Sylas. So this is going to be kind of a hard game to even get back into in the first place.
Definitely. I think the nice thing here, though, is that this is just going to be going a little bit back towards that laning phase, I think. So it does give that power that we saw from Sand Ninjas, the Sylas winning that lane so easily, the Irelia, who's been winning topside so far. I think that's where the prowess has been for Sand Ninjas, and we want to continue to see that here, as there aren't really a lot of objectives to take right now. Right now, things spanning out a little bit. Both supports up on the top side, looking for the possibility of the Rift Herald. We're seeing if anybody's got a bite on this top lane fight. Rakan is in the wings, waiting but I don't think you're going to get a fight coming. We'll be spotted out by the blue trinket of the of the Aurelia.
Oh yeah, and, it looks like they're trying to look for this Rift Herald here. This Jinx is also pushing down towards the mid lane.
Jinx is going to get to this fight before the Xayah can here. A little bit of trading in the bot side. Bidang does take that. Both of those mid laners have the TP. Rift Herald started by Viticulture. Sand Ninjas, I think they may just look to give this one up. Not worth fighting at the moment.
Yeah, I just feel like Sand Ninjas need to back off and try playing for something. They need to be able to catch someone out. Usually teams like this, like at this round, this position, like to bush cheese in certain spots, try to catch someone out, trying to get vision or anything like that. The Jinx did a good play by pushing the mid lane, trying to make sure that they lose as much as they can by even trying to think about contesting that Rift Herald. They did lose a little bit of CS by the Jinx being, pushing the mid lane and our.
Yeah, as we do see now, bot laners moving to that mid lane, trying to push down those towers. Right now, Sejuani up on the top side. And we'll see. I actually don't know if... So, I know that we can see the Sejuani passive getting kind of passed over to the Aurelia. I don't think if Sejuani's out of vision that it gets shown. But now we'll be seen now. They're just going to try and push this. They're going for the dive. There is the ult from the Sejuani, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Big shield. Fatty Doink is now tanking a lot of tower. There is the ult. Is now by Balls in Your Balls. Gets the Zillion ult as well. Staying alive will just back away at the end of it. Aurelia goes for a little bit of an aggressive dive.
Oh yeah, and set with the 0 items, somehow gets a shield that's his entire health bar towards. That's crazy. What?
Set shield is a funny, fickle thing to mess with.
A little bit. Maybe Aurelia needs to get some Serpent's Fang to stop the set from shielding his entire health bar being that low.
Possibly. I don't know who's going to build it. I don't think anybody really wants to build that item here.
I don't know.
Dragon going to be spawning in about 45 seconds. That should be our next team fight. And just looking across the board, here's no Sejuani ult really going to be available. Maybe coming back off cooldown around that time. Aurelia definitely not going to have the ult for that team fight. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do have Zillion ult coming back off cooldown because it has already hit that level 11 point. You get the cooldowns back so fast at this point. Zillion's able to do his job right now.
Yeah, and it looks like VP just has this entire drag side controlled. As you see all the pink wards protecting every single vision they have. There's almost no way to contest it. Silas is making a good play by pushing towards the top side, trying to see a tower that he can maybe get as he sees everyone. He knows everyone's down towards the bot side, trying to get the drag.
Yeah,
right now,
and I think it's... Go ahead.
Okay, right. Sorry. Right now, it feels like that everyone needs to push towards different objectives. They see the dragon, they're like, "Oh, we can't really get that." Looks like they need to push towards certain lanes or try punishing in any way they can besides contesting a fight that's not actually going to happen.
Yeah, and that's the mature call they usually do make. Meanwhile, we're seeing the dive on the top side. TP just used here. Set is really hard to go for. The Jinx ult gets the kill on the Silas. In the meantime, the tower does go down. There's going to be a kill going over, but now the rest of the team is here. I'm ready. He's going for the quickness, and now Law TK is around. The move speed has gotten him in. That's another kill. LNG going down, and now we're seeing Perklo. The flash away from the Blade Caller as the Law TK stays alive. That is another 4 kills over to the Jinx, the unofficial quadrant.
Yeah, it seems like this Jinx is almost double lived with that flash. That flash was really well timed for the Jinx, and knowing that the Xayah was trying to try Gale Force and getting all those feathers onto the Jinx, but it just didn't happen, which caused the fight not to work.
Yeah, just a little bit over aggressive there, trying to go for the dive. Set is just so hard to dive. He has that shield to keep him alive. It's just so sketchy, and already just specifically the fact that ult got the kill onto the Silas gave the time for Jinx to get in there.
Oh yeah, I got the speed up and everything. The only reason why Set honestly didn't survive, in my opinion, was because he was CC'd too much. He couldn't even press his W for how much CC he was getting from the Sejuani and the Nautilus. But if he got his W off, he would have maybe actually survived with how much shielding he would have gotten.
Yeah. Yeah, good roams up too from I Am Ready and the Law to clean that one up and make that another one victory for VP. Another engage up on this top side. I Am Ready taking a lot of damage. Charm's going to start to hit. Big knock up here, but there's no damage here. Jinx ult does hit, takes him down low. Cyclone is doing the rest of the damage, and that is another kill. Davji does get that one, and it's just a clean triple kill. No deaths. VP are controlling this game.
Oh my gosh, that Jinx ult got him all of a half health, perfect enough for VP just to clean up. Now they need a free Baron. Not much they can even do about it. I really could maybe TP down bot side, maybe get some CS and push in waves and make sure they can't go push towards the bot side. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen at all.
Yeah, just the control here from VP has been massive. Every time there's a fight, even when we're seeing Sand Ninjas try to take fights that not all of VP are there, especially the Jinx. They're trying to fight away from the Jinx. Jinx just hits the downtown rocket and it doesn't matter.
Well, and as you saw, like they were, Sand Ninjas was actually winning that fight. It was so close, and the next thing you know, Jinx rocket, VP just won the fight right after that. There was nothing Sand Ninjas could do. They were all clumped up, perfect for rocket to even come through.
So what do you do here as Sand Ninjas to try and get yourself back into this game? Because we've seen so many different attempts that just have not worked so far.
I feel like this Rakan has definitely been really good at getting vision before these objectives and getting vision down. As you can see, there's 4 wards was a Baron before as the Baron was taken, right? Mm-hmm. And you didn't even see Rakan place those wards almost. I feel like if they can maybe catch the Rakan before a fight, because the Rakan is doing a lot of CC and charming. He has like 3-man knockups almost every single fight. If they can catch the Rakan out with, bush cheese or something like that, I feel like they can get on top of the Jinx and maybe, possibly, get the kill and shut down.
Yeah, Cyclone going to be used here. DevG does take a good chunk of damage. Radiant Virtue Healing is pretty good, though. Perklo trying to get the ult across a lot of people. Blade Caller should be good once it gets hit, but it's not going to get hit until the Resurrect comes through from the Sylas, and now we're seeing the continue of the fight. They do get the Jinx in the process here, so that's 2 down. Bot lane is gone. Mid it till Dragon, but Set is pushing up on the top side here.
Oh yeah, Set has Baron. They have to push towards Set to stop it, but that also risks the drag, which gives VP just soul point advantage. And now they have to contest these drags if they get the soul point.
They're moving over towards this mid lane tower to take that one down. And it's going to be at least a little bit of gold in their pocket.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're just trying to push down mid to see what towers they can get and advantages.
They're going forward once again. The bomb does not get the stun. Resurrect onto the Zillia. DevG is very, very low. And they're just going to continue on forward. Do get the kill onto the Sejuani, but in the process, they lose the Zillia efficiency. Uses the clone to try and get away. Perklo gets a big shutdown there, but probably going to die in the process. Does flash out, stays alive for the time being, but the Set ult will get the kill. Wang Badang is using the Zonias to stay alive. Will Dash stays in live for the time being, but I think, yeah, just flash away. Law TK gonna show up and make things scary as hell.
And that got Xayah a full item now with the touchdown that she got on Jinx in that fight. Now Xayah and Jinx are actually sort of close. There is a Jinx, does have about 1,000 gold more onto the Xayah. But this means that, Sandvipers does maybe have a chance, as we saw in that fight. VP was so split up. The Jinx was on one side of the map and Rakan was on one side of the map. Well, Wukong and all of them were on the other side of the map. This made it to where they were able to just fly onto the Jinx and actually kill her.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's just the way that you have to do it. You have the Sylas, the Irelia, just these good 1v1 kind of skirmishy types of champions. If you could catch those players out of position, you do have a lot of power over them. Jinx really reliant on her team to be able to get into any kinds of fights. And if you can play a little bit off kilter, if you can catch her trying to rotate, maybe that is your opportunity to win this game.
Yeah, but you can see here, Zillion does TP, and then we do have Sylas TP. We'll maybe see if he TPs or just push bot.
There is the cleanse. Ult from Perklo. Bit of a confusing one there.
I can't tell if they're fighting or not. I
Yeah,
can't tell if they're trying to
I
fight.
think the plan was to try and get the Jinx with it, but did not actually get enough of the feathers through. So that is a huge cooldown down for Perklos. We've seen Xyle has been incredibly crucial for this fight. Perklo now just going to get a little bit of damage. Engage is now coming through. No Sejuani ult there, but there's the charm. There's the knockups, and that is the Jinx burning through the entire enemy team. The TP is coming through. It's going to come through just as the tower goes down. Wangbadang is just going to have to watch as the structures fall.
And these death timers, especially in the later towards these games, are just too long. It feels like Jinx is just going to walk back and then they take their wins, actually.
Yeah,
I feel like they could have almost
no.
the game out.
Yeah, would be a little scary. It's definitely
be.
still at least enough in the tank there to be a little bit rough, and as we do see, Ling Ling is just back alive here. But now, with the resets, with the extra gold spent, we're seeing teams move over towards that Baron spawning in just 35 seconds.
Oh yeah, and this the Jinx does now have Lord Doms, and Lord Doms could look spell and horrible for the Sejuani. You know, the Isaiah does not have Lord Doms yet.
Ooh. We're seeing early engage there. I'm ready getting caught out there by the Aurelia. Good stun from Fatty Doink. But once again, Sejuani ult is down.
Yeah, so there is no cleanse onto the Jinx. So Nautilus ultimate, any ultimate could really just CC the Jinx and get her out of town.
See the clone burned here by the Wukong as the objectives are starting to get pushed onto. Baron started here by Sand Ninjas. They're trying to force the fight. The 4v5, a lot of damage being put onto DabG. Now here comes efficiency. Not going to use the Cyclone. Yes, now will as the clone disappears. And that is a double stun. A big turnaround here as one reset comes through. Jinx is now burning through the team. The Law is laying down the Law. And that is another kill. A triple kill to the Jinx going for the quad here. Nope. Silas is going to take it. And now they're just going to push for the end. 4v5, it doesn't matter. VP are way too strong.
Yeah, that Jinx on Lord Doms actually just killed every single person, especially with the Runons and Rockets. Too much splash, and as we saw, the Zillion stun really turned around the fight, being able to CC three or four people, being able to get the Jinx rocket down, and next thing you know, everyone's dead. It happened pretty quickly after the Zillion stun.
Just a really strong, just team-wide win here. The lanes were rough, and we saw VP turn things around. The Jinx was the core. The Jinx got fed, and they played around that core just textbook.
It was definitely a plan, and it was definitely executed really well.
Absolutely. But I think with that, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for our next game, guys. Do not go anywhere. We will be back right after this. And welcome back, everybody. We are now into game 2 of the night. Draft Law has just begun, and we'll see how things are going to shake up. Seems like both teams staying on the same sides. And just to refresh, we did see the Gragas ban, we saw the Vi ban. Looks like those are staying.
There could be a Jinx ban that comes in to play, or Jinx first pick. Who knows?
I sure hope so. That champion is busted.
Yeah, no, the Jinx definitely carried there in that game. But you know, as we said, there was a plan and a strategy, and they definitely executed the strategy really well.
Absolutely here. Nothing changing so far. The Twitch and the Karthus from last game still going to be off the board right now. Waiting on that last ban. Are we going to see Ninjas go for the... Oh, they're going for the Rakan instead of the Jinx. So the Jinx is still available here. There's still a lot of good supports that work with Jinx.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting to see the Rakan as we saw, Ninja was actually picking the Rakan. The only reason why, you know, VP even picked the Rakan was because to take it away from the Xayah. You know, as we see, the Xayah and Rakan are actually really good together.
Yeah, the Wukong going to be locking once again here for efficiency. Maokai and the Jinx lock-in this time going to be going over to Perklo. So Ninja's definitely, at least, I think, recognizing that VP are going to go for the Wukong every time and saying, you know what? Fine, take it. We'll take the Jinx from you this time around.
Oh yeah, maybe the Rakan ban is actually pretty good because it's Xayah Rakan. They take it away from Xayah Rakan, thinking they don't want to play Jinx Rakan also with it also. As we see the Xayah being picked.
Yeah, so now this Rakan ban does make a lot more sense now. If you're expecting that Wukong to be picked, it makes sense. You pick the Wukong, we take the Jinx. You're going to want the Xayah, but now you don't have a Rakan to pair it with. So now things do get a little more interesting as VP. They're going to go for the Nautilus here. The same thing that we did see from Sand Ninjas last time. Jinx maybe get paired up with the Lulu, get paired up with the Thresh. A lot of different options here as we wait on Sand Ninja's last pick.
Yeah, and it seems to be like it could be almost anything looking at their support Slingling.
Yeah, could be up in the air. The Lulu is going to be the hover, is going to be the lock-in as we now go to the second ban phase here. Now, solo lanes did not seem to be really super important here. The Zilean did get bullied very, very hard, but apparently the revives were enough of a threat here that Sand Ninjas do want to take it off the board.
And maybe they were like, man, that was actually, it could be the double stun that happened in the last team fight. It's bringing up, you know, memories. They're like, I don't want to deal with that anymore. Yeah. They kind of lost it after that double stun.
The Sylas going to be hovered, and I would expect that one to be locked in. They had a lot of trouble dealing with the Sylas last time. The Yone is actually going to be the lock-in here. We'll see. There's still one more ban. Sylas could be taken off the board there. But we will see. Right now, Sand Ninjas will rating on their next ban, and I'm curious what this one is going to be, because we've already deviated from the norm last time by getting rid of the Zilean. It's going to be the Shen again.
Oh yeah, the Shen is actually a big problem too. Being able to protect the Xayah, especially with the Nautilus, being able to peel her with his ultimate and autos, because his auto decides the route too. But the Shen, maybe they're trying to look for an Aurelia, as the Malphite and Gragas were both banned. They both do counter Aurelia pretty hard. Maybe they're looking for Aurelia pick on again.
We will see the Aurelian Soul once again. So the Sylas is available still if Sand Ninjas want to take it. I would expect this time around, like, I think you pick the Sylas here if you're going to take it. It's going to be the Talia Hover. We'll see if that gets locked in. Will be locked in. So Sand Ninjas opting into a different mid laner, despite the fact that I think they did really well with the Sylas last time around.
Oh yeah, maybe they're looking for something to do with the dashes that might be coming on to the Jinx, because there is a lot of protecting the Jinx, as you have Jinx Lulu and Maokai to stun anything, knock them back. Maybe they're looking to protect the Jinx as much as they can, so they're looking to take away anything that might have a dash or anything with an engage tool to get onto the Jinx.
Syndra going to be the lock-in against the Talia, so this should be, for the most part, a just farm lane. Not really expecting a whole lot out of this one. I did want to point out that we are actually seeing it is not going to be Perklo in the AD carry. It's actually Perklo moving mid. Wang Badang is now moving to the AD carry position.
Maybe after seeing that game last time, they didn't want the Zaya. They would decide they wanted the Jinx. Maybe Perklo is just not the good at Jinx, and Wang Badang is actually a Jinx one trick that we just haven't seen yet. What new prodigy that's coming up?
Yeah, Ornn, the final lock in here as the blind pick for the top side ninjas. We'll see if they want to go for that Irelia again. I would expect this time you're not going to want to play Irelia into an Ornn. That does not sound like the greatest of times.
Oh yeah, and as we all know, Ornn is the mage assassin tank.
Yeah. It's going to be the Camille. Has a pretty solid time in the early game to mid game here against these tanks. Pretty solid at trading with them, especially when you take into account that Ornn is going to be fighting into that shield. He's a very cooldown dependent champion, and Camille loves playing against those types of champs in the top lane.
Yeah, and the as we always see, we usually see the Camille with the roaming mid laner. You know, you have Camille TF, you have Camille Galio, Camille Talia. Camille was actually a really good pick here, especially with a team comp, especially into Ornn. Picking Ornn, and you could have almost guessed that Camille was going to be played, especially with Talia being picked too.
Yeah, so now does get a little bit interesting here. I think Sand Ninjas definitely have a bit of a stronger comp this time around, something that has a little bit more of an identity, partially because they stole part of that identity from VP. But regardless, I mean, like, you have the Camille Talia, you have just the Jinx. The Maokai is such good lockdown to keep Jinx from getting jumped on. There's a lot of good things in this Sand Ninja composition that we did not see in the first game.
I still feel like, though, is they have all these tools to use, but will they use those tools to actually win the game? As we can see, VP is really good at taking, you know, the plan and pushing that plan into victory. And Sand Ninjas had some plan, and they fed it into Sylas, and Sylas' carry did not work fully as they anticipated it would. So yeah. Will the plan of Jinx being the carry work, or will they decide to feed Camille instead? And next thing you know, Jinx doesn't have the gold to actually do the damage for the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue, though, there's a stronger case for who the carry is here, right? Like, it is just the Jinx. True. Like, it's all set up for the Jinx. Once again, this time VP don't have that. They have the Xayah this time. They have the Syndra, which is really good late game damage. It's just she's not as strong as she once was, since she did get her rework to give her all that scaling power.
Yeah, and the VP does have a big scale up to with the Ornn and Syndra. Xayah does come online usually about mid-game. Mid-game is usually Xayah's strong part. As soon as she gets the Noon Quiver popping off, Wukong does have a lot of the mid-game. There's a lot of mid-game stuff, but so does VP. It looks like the mid-game could be a very strong point here towards both teams, actually.
Yeah, and I did also want to point out, too, like, we do, once again, have so much setup for this Wukong's early ganks. He's not great at just getting ganks off himself. He doesn't have that crowd control. But when you have laners that all have this crowd control, literally every single person on this team has crowd control to set up for a Wukong gank in the early game. That's a little scary, and I feel like it is very much clear that Efficiency is someone that they know how to work around.
Yeah, and they're looking also. They also have the Camille, Talia, and Maokai. They have three things to dive onto the Xayah or Syndra, depending on who they're trying to figure out to dive on. There is some disengage tools such as the Syndra E and knockbacks with the Ornn too. But there is a lot of dive tools onto the Xayah that the Xayah can't really get out of, especially with Camille.
Yeah, the Camille is the big one. Obviously, Xayah, all really, really good. It doesn't matter if you can't leave.
Exactly. You're stuck in that box. It's like playing with J4. J4, you're stuck in that hole. You can't get out of it.
Absolutely here. And just taking, I think the other thing I'm going to be watching for in this game is the Camille, and just will that split push pressure be a problem, right? Because when you think of Camille, you think of a champion that if she does get out of control, there is not a single person that is capable of going toe-to-toe with her, which opens up opportunities on the other side of the map here. It's just a question of like, can you utilize that correctly? Because you can play too far forward, you can die for no reason with no objectives to take, those kinds of things. That's a much harder comp to execute. It just depends on like, is Ornn gonna get dumpstered in the early game?
Yeah, and it seems to me that even with the Aurelia that was happening up to the top side, they do take these greedy plays such as the tower dives and stuff like that, and they don't really expect towards this Ornn. They had the set last time. The set didn't die that often, even with the Aurelia. So maybe Ornn does feel that way, and he's just like, you can do what you do what you want. I'll just sit back and upgrade my Xayah and Syndra, and what can you do? Ornn, gives stats just from existing in the game.
Absolutely. But I think with that, we're going to take a quick break here as we get ready for the game. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll see if VP can close it out 2-0, if we're going to be going to a game 3. And welcome back, everybody. We are into game 2 now. Teams sticking together for the level 1, but doesn't seem like we're going to get any action this time around. VP once again on that blue side, looking to get a 2-0 victory on the night. I'm Thousand Eyes. That is SeveerBard, and we are ready to see the second game of the night.
Man, it looks like both teams had the same idea, but opposite sides of the idea was going to be presented on.
And just a little bit of embeds, nothing too crazy. No vision left here. We're seeing they're sticking around pretty long here. Also, no hook on the Nautilus for right now. I think they not spot it? They did not spot it. So it is just going to be a trade overall. Nobody really gets anything. Just a little bit of extra vision being utilized here by the side of Sand Ninjas.
Yeah, it's almost surprising that you don't see VP putting down a ward down towards the bot side. Maybe they're thinking we don't need to waste it, but as you see, Sand Vipers can easily get the vision towards the top side. Orin does look like he's checking out, seeing if they did invade, but they didn't. They just have the vision towards. Looks like vision control is towards Sand Vipers right now.
Sand Ninjas definitely looking to get at least a little bit of early control here. They want this Camille to be able to control this top lane. Do not let this Orin hit his super tank status that he wants to get towards. Maokai also we didn't talk enough about it in the pregame here. Just lots of real solid lockdown potential. You get that in the mid lane. Talia gets an easy W. You get that in the top lane. Camille gets an easy E. There's a lot of opportunities to utilize this as we get an early gank or an early fight on the bot side here. Ling Ling just taking a lot of damage from that Nautilus, but I'm ready taking a lot of damage in response. Has to flash out. Wang Badang now trying to use those rockets to get a little bit. Flashes forward now with the Lulu shield, but the shield comes up in time as I am ready will back away. Wang Badang uses both those summoners, but no kills gained.
Yeah, and as we see, Nautilus does have the Hex Flash again, so Flash is not really that important for this Nautilus. I see he can just sit in the bush and hold the Hex Flash, and you tell pretty much has Flash.
Yeah, here we go. There is the one, and now they're going in back onto the Jinx. No, there's no Flash. There's no Ghost. You're just going to die. Double kill going over to efficiency, and the over-aggression is punished.
Oh yeah, and as you could tell, there was almost they had vision toward the top side. They had a little bit of a greedy play towards the bot side, and they got punished for it.
Yeah, and that is just a rough early start here. It does go over to the Wukong rather than the Xayah, so lane state is not super effective, but what that does mean now is the Wukong can bring that gold around the map and just completely control wherever he wants now.
Oh yeah, and as you can tell also, like, Wukong is definitely going to be needed to take down the Camille towards the late game, early game, at almost any stage of the game. Wukong's job is to stop the Camille from getting in on towards the Orin or anyone on his team. So having the goal towards the Wukong is actually might be a good idea to have.
Absolutely. Continue to see fights happening across the map, but it is just mostly farming. Maybe seeing a gank in the mid lane here as DevG is showing up. Perklo is low on mana, gonna get hit by the stun, gets ignited, maybe going down in the process, and Mystic Shadow gets one out for free there. 2v1, gets the kill anyway.
Yeah, maybe they were not expecting the damage from Syndra, but it definitely hurt quite a bit. I think First Strike may have came up and just, possibly just get the combo down and one tap the Talia while she saw it.
Yeah, reminiscent of old Syndra.
Very, very scary.
Right there. Yeah, very strong in the early game, and now coming back, has that tier already, and just a lot of extra damage as Talia still trying to ramp up in the process.
Surprisingly, there is no Dark Seal towards the Syndra as they wanted the Dark Seal last game, or was that? Oh, Perklo.
Yeah, well, we have a dive on the bot side. Wang Badai is taking a lot of damage from the tower. TP is now coming in. Ling Ling is very, very low. Davji is going to fall to the tower first. And this is a dive gone wrong. Sandedge is in deep trouble here. Ling Ling just going to get knocked up and taken out. Perklo in the middle of the rest of the team trying to get I Am Ready. Will get that kill, but I think has baited in the Jinx, and that's going to be another death. Perklo going down. Wang Badai going down. Double kill, and the dragon is up. Everything going right for VP.
Oh my gosh, the VP was ready for that dive. They were ready to take that down. Probably great communication and the VC making sure that all of their teammates are down there towards it. Dragon being up 2 could really cause, they have Dragon, they have up 3k gold now. It could really spell trouble for Sand Vipers here. Ninjas.
Definitely. Yeah, this game is already just on thin ice here. As we do see Ling Ling just take a lot of damage. Just hits level 4. The Law, level 5 already. And like we said, Dragon just going to be picked up. We do have a pause. Jungle has had a disconnect. So we're going to be seeing Sand Ninjas hold out for the time being. And we'll see how long this pause really takes here.
Yeah, so far this game seems to be in VP's hand. Maybe the Wi-Fi was honestly saying, "Hey, man, there's a lot of gold on VP right now."
Yeah, it's looking rough, right? Like
It's pretty
Wukong's
rough.
4-0. We take a look at just the game state as a whole. Wukong's 4-0. Syndra up 1 or sorry, even in kills, but has not died, is up 10 farm, bot lane up 8 farm, like everything. Pretty much the only thing that has been super positive here is Fatty Doink on the top side is up a decent amount of CS, but that's because Ornn TP'd to the bot lane to try and fight that.
And even with that CS lead, there is 2 assists onto Orin, so that basically is gold pretty much even, as assists usually count about 5 CS almost. Kills count 15.
Yeah, it is still once again just a lot of gold on the jungler, which is great for the time being. You just want to make sure that you can continue to funnel that into the rest of your team here, because a late game Wukong is not where you want your money.
Oh, definitely not. Wukong definitely hits about 2 items, and next thing you know, that's basically full build for Wukong. Wukong doesn't have much items besides Black Cleaver and all those little tank shred
Yeah,
items
your
almost.
role is to push R at that point,
Yeah,
right? Like you don't do anything as a champion. You just do the knock-up and you shred armor.
yeah, pretty much. And then next thing you know, Zaya's the one doing damage because the armor's all gone from
Yeah.
Wukong's Q and his Black Cleaver purchase that he's going to be buying here. It looks like he's already trying to buy with Coalfield. He's usually you see the Sheen if she's going Sunder first, but Coalfield seems to be his gold field, so maybe could be towards Black Cleaver Rush.
Yeah. Give me the rundown of what you want to see from both these teams here, while we do wait for this pause to
Uh,
unpause here.
I'm actually excited. I don't know about you. I'm excited to see Orin almost get one shot from Camille, because that's always a sight to see. Camille randomly do half a health of damage from her second cast of her Q. We do see the Sheen being the Sunder, so Sunder is just gonna really shred down this Orin. I'm excited also to see Zaya get a giant feather pool onto the team, as there is a lot of things that kind of keep them staying still. As you see, the Orin has 3 things of CC, Wukong has a knockup. There's no way they can really do much on the Merc Tread part, because all of it's really knockups. The only stun they have is mainly Nautilus and the Syndra. So I would like to see the Zaya really go hard, as she did last game with Jinx too.
Yeah. I mean, makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you are Sand Ninjas, is really all you have right now just the Camille? Like you're just hoping the Camille can carry this game for you, or are you maybe trying to see if maybe you can turn things around on this bot lane here?
I definitely do think that Camille is probably the strongest person right now, especially on their team.
Ooh, wait, we'll have to get back to that as Wangbadang does get hit by a hook. I am ready, maybe just in a little bit too deep here. Does get hit by the trap. Ling Ling gonna get a little bit more damage down. Good health trade for Wangbadang, but no kills. Pause does hit, and then normal bug for those who do not watch a lot of the pauses in League. It is an unfortunate after effect of spectate pauses.
Yeah, it seems like League does not want us watching this game anymore.
Yeah. A little bit of trading up at the top side. Ornn's still doing a decent chunk of damage here, Camille. Just not there yet. Stun does hit now. Perklo gets the shield from the Lulu. really big there, but that does leave the Xayah, or the Jinx alone, rather. Xayah going to keep going forward on that. Mystic Shadow taking a lot of damage, maybe going down in just a sec. The Lulu Q does not hit. Davji just trying to get this one, will pick up the kill, but they're still chasing. This Jinx is still in trouble, doing a lot of damage. Law is very, very low, and will just get flashed on. Ling Ling picks up that kill. Efficiency gets the kill on the Taliyah in the process. My balls is now coming in. Ornalt does hit onto the Maokai. Ling Ling also falling. Davji also going down. More kills to the Wukong.
Yeah, you can see Orn's picking that bounty. They're probably laughing in voice call right now. That's pretty funny to see the Jinx. The Jinx was running up the side, screaming, "Help me!" But there was no help to be found as Nautilus landed that hook onto the Jinx. Jinx did have flash to get away, but it looks like she just was not expecting the hook, or she just didn't want to burn flash for it.
Yeah, Jinx, unfortunately there. It looked good. It was like, oh, cool. Ling Ling's up there to help Perklo stay alive. We pan down to bot lane where Jinx is getting an entire anchor thrown into her face, alone and scared. It's not a great time. Perklo, also, once again, just running into the 7-0 Wukong, will probably be going down. Second cast of the Cyclone does hit, and that's just another death. As legendary onto efficiency.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Wukong's back here. Let's see what he does by, considering. Oh, there goes just straight Sunder. Looks like he was tired of going for, instead of going for that Black Cleaver, he just was like, I'm too fed. Let's go for Sunder, more damage onto him. He doesn't need to shred armor whenever he is the killer already.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're doing damage, why not just go all in on it?
Oh yeah, especially because you're the one having all the kills and all the gold funneled onto you right now.
Yeah, importantly too, this does just like completely add on to the pressure that has been put on this mid bot for Sand Ninjas here. Down more farm, more experience. We see level 6 for the Law right now as Ling Ling's going to get hit. Here comes the wall from Taliyah now, though. Sparkler's going to go in. Does not close off, and now Law just gets to back away. I am ready trying to walk out, but I think that's just going to be a death, and it's going to be going over to the Taliyah. I think you might have wanted to have that one onto the Jinx.
Yeah, maybe. But as we can see, Syndra is punishing that. Syndra does have a push onto the Taliyah. Yeah, it's punishing her. She's losing XP and more farm, as we can see the 73 to 52 CS happening here.
Yeah, nice W. Perklo is still trading, but it doesn't matter. Perklo is just so behind here. There's the Ignite and the ult. I don't think it's going to kill here as we do go down to the spot side here. There is the traps, and that is just going to be the kill. Good tower aggro trading. There's Ling Ling. Gonna have to burn the ult to stay alive, but still a worthy trade to get this Jinx into the game.
That's really good into the Jinx too, especially because the Jinx is one of the most damage you have here, besides possibly the Camille towards the top side. Taliyah being so far down, it's gonna be kind of hard for her to catch up to where the Jinx and Camille are gonna be at the damage portion right now. Taliyah's really good though because she does have the CC and the capability to peel the Jinx with her W, knocking away the Nautilus and all of them. So maybe Taliyah is just going to be a util bot. It could be not going bad to go Everfrost here just for more utility.
Yeah, right now, it really is just kind of up to this Camille. You wanted her to be the setup for the Jinx, but right now, she really has to be the Jinx. She has to channel her inner Jinx to try and carry this game. Ornn, though, will eventually hit a point where he does just do his job.
Yeah, as you can see, Ornn's playing safe. He may be losing CS, but he has 0 deaths. This is kind of the person you'd like to see in your solo queue games.
Absolutely. More engages. I will say, my boss has been really good on those Ws to try and stop the stuns. Hook does go wide, and here comes the Maokai ult to try and turn this Wang Badang. Big W starts off the fight right, and that is going to be the Nautilus going down again. So another kill going over. It does go into the Taliyah. Now we do have the fight topside. Fatty Doink has no more mana, so the Ornn is going to continue the fight. The breath does hit. Ling Ling is taking so much damage, but does not get the kill. Efficiency now does not have a lot there. Flashes forward onto Porklo. Efficiency does not get hit by the rocket and will just be able to back away. Topside, Fatty Doink is still trying to fight this, does not have the mana, and that's the breath getting the kill. Wangbadang still chasing forward. The ult from the Xayah trying to make that fight even. Pullback does get the kill onto the Maokai as the Syndra picks up the kill onto the Lulu. Wangbadang is now alone. Don't walk back there, buddy. That's a death waiting to happen as Wangbadang does go down to Mystic Shadow. An ace across the board in favor of BP.
That was kind of crazy to watch towards there was a whole fight going towards bot side, but I was really excited to see what was happening towards the top side. Or in solo killing Camille. That's not something you see every single day, as Camille is the known tank shredder on the top side of the map. But there was everything was played perfectly towards everything. As you saw, the Talia was full health, but Kong being so ahead, you saw the Q just half healthier, and next thing you know, the fight was lost.
Absolutely. Just crazy across the board here. And now we're seeing the kills start to go into other people's pockets too. It's just one extra kill to that Wukong. Meanwhile, Syndra gets a double kill. The Xayah picks up a kill there. That is the flash forward a little bit too aggressive. Everybody is here. Mystic Shadow going to go down. And now they're trying to finish off I Am Ready. Gets the knockback from the Talia and does just fall afterwards. Fatty Doink gets that kill. So a good response here despite falling behind. Doesn't seem like Sand Ninjas are willing to go quietly.
Oh yeah, and I think I don't know. Nautilus was charging up his Hex Flash in the middle of that. Almost, it seemed like, because he was standing still. It wasn't even emoting. So
I think he gave up. To be honest, I think that
Hex Flash being pinged. I think the Nautilus was trying to flash, but didn't have it up.
Nah, genuinely, I think that was just giving up. I think he just knew he was dead and gave up at that point. Wukong does pick up the kill in the mid lane there. Perklo staying a little bit too late. So 10-0 on the Wukong, because why not?
Yeah, and there is a Black Cleaver pick that we do see every day.
Yeah, we do see the Sunfire finished here on the Ornn. Has been a pretty popular staple for tanks as of late.
Yeah, it's almost, but the Ornn does have a lot of armor, but there is no MR onto the Ornn, so that could spell trouble with Maokai maybe running Demonic, and also Talia having Leandries too. Ornn may not be able to tank as much as he would like in the team fights, as he's going full armor almost.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't think he cares about tanking for team fights at this point. He's just looking to stop this Camille as much as possible. I think this is purely for the lane. Yeah, you see Mystic Shadow having to flash away. There is the Maokai. Alt W does hit, and that's going to be Mystic Shadow falling again. Once again, another kill to the Talia. Has died 6 times, but 5 kills is pretty substantial.
Here comes the gank towards the top side. Camille probably fell in trouble, just walks out. He does spot the Wukong. Until it seems like the mid and jungle are actually really good at communicating, as they have really been on the same page for every single fight. And
yeah, we're seeing another dive set up on this bot lane here, though. Perklo ready. There is the hook there. I Am Ready is now just going to have to deal with it. Dave G is taking the tower aggro. That is one death. TP coming in from the Ornn on behind. Wangbadang is taking a tower shot. And that is just going to be a death there. Flash away. The ult does not hit. Law TK gets the kill there. DFG now going to fall afterwards, as now it is just up to the Lulu here. Here's Talia on the other side. Camille has TP'd in, and that's going to be one death. Root will keep Fatty Doink under the tower a little bit. Perklo now tanking it. His Mystic Shadow's trying to turn around. The ult does hit. The ult is good. That is a death. That is an execute from the Lulu. Just walked into tower range. Fatty Doink now going in, gets the kill, but I think is going to be dying in the process. Ult to stay alive for the time being. There is the Ornn Breath, the passive from Camille, doing a lot of work to keep Camille healthy here. Will go forward, does get the stun. We're trying to see the turnaround, but it's not going to be enough. It is the Ornn getting the kill. Breath is too good. All throughout that, we're seeing the jungler push mid.
Yeah, jungler is pushing mid, pushing towards that Sunder. Sunder does do a lot to towers. And also, the Ornn was the damage that get that fight too. Ornn didn't even care. You saw Xayah under tower, everyone going towards Xayah. He was chasing the Lulu. He was he was fighting his own battles and was killing everyone there. Orin being able to just do that is kind of crazy to see.
Yeah, a very messy tower dive does at least, it gives some gold. It just gives a lot of gold back as well. We continue to push down on this bot side here. Perklo just going to continue to try and melt down. Dragon going to be spawning at about 40 seconds. They want to go for a round 2 on the dive here. Orin just going to have to back away. They're going to use that speed to try and get the kill. Orin flashes away.
Yeah, the Orin spelled trouble. He, as you can see, he has 0 deaths, and I hope that guy has 0 deaths by the end of this game. Orin has really proved to me how awesome he is. Wukong does go in.
No, yeah, efficiency now running into the entire team. Just uses the clone now, but I think it's gonna fall in the process. Ling Ling uses the Lulu wall on himself to try and stay alive. Will do so for the time being, and now the shutdown going over to the Camille. Power once again into the hands of the top laner, and they're just going to move that straight over to the Dragon. 1,000 gold to Camille, and the Dragon almost assuredly here. So we're seeing a little bit of a fight starting to prep itself here. Big double stun. Here comes Ornn. Wang to Bang is going to get focused out here. There's the hook, and that's just going to be a dead Jinx. Mystic Shadow trying to run for his life as the Camille gets the kill on the back end there. While TK still alive, uses the Xayah ult, will get so much damage with that feather pull. Gale Force is in. Law is ready to put it down and just continues pushing forward. Perklo, the only one left alive at the end of it, but the Dragon does go over to Sand Ninjas.
Yeah, and I feel like the Camille needed to back or something, get back, because that 1,000 golds was not used in that fight. Yeah, they got the shutdown, but they couldn't, back out and use that shutdown to their advantage towards the fight of the Dragon.
I mean, it's a little hard when you know that you're gonna have a fight at the Dragon. There's no TP available. Trying to back and spend that money, that's a huge part of your team that's not available. So I get it, I understand it, but you're right. It is, a lot of gold in the pocket and not in the fight, as we do see VP win the fight, still continue, and it will just be a little bit of a reset across the board here for the time being.
And they also got to be careful too, because as soon as the Jinx gets about 3 items in, the Jinx could come online no matter how many deaths and no matter how far she is behind. Once those 3 items do hit, which is Kraken, IE, and Runons, you probably need a Lord Doms before Runons at this point, because as you see, Orin is 4-0 and having so much armor on him.
Yeah,
Jinx doesn't even do the damage to the Orin when Orin's one-shotting her entire team almost.
Yeah, the Ornn ult was just so big in that fight, and Ornn has been silently just kind of staying alive. Remember, no deaths on this Ornn, so the Camille, while doing well in lane, Ornn has survived, now has surpassed Camille in terms of farm. So this Ornn is doing great, and like you said, so much armor, the upgraded Jack show there. And that's just going to get worse and worse as we continue through the game. Rift Herald being used in mid, and I think we have actually caught Sand Ninjas napping. They're going for the Baron, but this is huge. That Rift Herald didn't even charge on the tower, so they're going to have it healthy enough to hit a Nexus turret.
Yeah, they're still going for the Baron. They're looking.
They don't realize. They don't know about the Baron. Oh, and it didn't get the charge. That's so bad for VP. They had an opportunity, I think, to end the game there if they committed.
Yeah, and actually, them getting inhib here could actually funnel gold into the Jinx and Talia where they need it. Because as you can see, the CS lead and all the kills that are onto it, they need a push into them to get the CS to come back into the game.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate there for VP. I think we thought it was Sand Ninjas napping. They lose the inhib, but could work out for the better. I think playing smart too, as they see Wang to Bang just staying in that mid lane, waiting for the wave. Just got to be careful you don't try and go for an over aggressive push without your AD carry.
Oh yeah, and also I don't know about you, but I feel like Jinx needs to upgrade these boots. These boots have been level 1 for far too long. She needs to get away. She needs to get away from all the lockdown that they have, but she doesn't have enough movement speed to do that. I feel like she needs to upgrade these boots to actually kite in these fights.
Yeah, the raggedy old leather not doing a whole lot for you at this point. You
Yeah,
would
definitely.
like to have a little bit better, especially just because it is just better ways to peel for yourself, right? Like extra move speed is so important here. You see a little bit of an engaged Fatty Doink now taking a lot of damage. Will get hit by the Ornn ult. Nope, uses the ult in the process, but gets interrupted on the hook shot. Is going to stay alive, and the flash forward, the Law picks up the kill as the tower falls. VP picking up extra towers despite the Baron being in the hands of Sand Ninjas. Talia ult coming through now as my balls just gonna have to try and get away. You just bonks his head into the Talia wall to back away. Now here comes Efficiency trying to go for the kill. Perklo now going so low, but now here comes the rest of the team. We're seeing the Wukong start to fall off in action. The Law trying to continue to put damage down as they do see the disengage from Sand Ninjas. TP burned. And that is going to be used just as the dragon is spawning. Efficiency is a third health, though.
Yeah, I think this proves. Oh, there comes a Syndra going in and
Yeah,
nearly
Langerbag
killing the
stays
Jinx.
alive. Only down to half health. Still able to continue in these fights here. Especially as there's a little bit of lifesteal in that build here. DevG is going forward there as Mystic Shadow might be getting taken out. Flashes over the wall. Blue team gets the dragon in the process. I'm ready. Backing away. Trying to stay alive. The rest of the team continuing to push forward. Health bars are low across the board for VP, as we're seeing Ornn try to buy as much time as possible.
You see Ornn over there pinging his R saying, hey, we can't do anything right now. So they're trying to back away. That was a chance for Sand Ninjas to actually come in and fight because they had no ults and they were all down low. Could have been a chance, but also very risky still. About like a 30-70 chance to win that fight still without much gold onto the VP.
Absolutely. They did not have vision. They did not want to face check into an entire team and have somebody get blown up. I respect the back away. It does mean, though, our Baron is gone here and not really much gained outside of just no Baron onto VP and the gold. So it is just going to be back to, I think, what we had seen before until we see this Baron spawning in about 2 minutes. That's really our next big objective to watch for.
Yeah, and the VP, probably both looking towards this, but as you can see, VP does have more objectives. That could be towards the junglers, but also could be towards support. As you can see, the vision score down to the bot side, 52 and 32. There's a lot more vision towards on the VP.
Oh, no. I am ready. He's going to get hit by the root after the flash. No way to get back out, so that is just going to be a dead Nautilus if they're not careful, and that is going to be one. That is the Jinx reset. That is another kill going over to the Talia. Law's now using that ultimate to try and stay alive. A lot of damage on the damage. He will die in the process. Law, no ultimate, low health, can't continue this fight as Fatty Dog continue to push down. 700 gold to the Camille. Perklo stays alive, but the Jinx is down. Efficiency is trying to mow through the rest of the team. It's Fatty Dog continuing forward. Perklo putting out damage from the range, but it's Fatty Dog that picks up the kill. Ornn wonders where his team went.
Yeah, I don't know. They just got caught up there looking for vision or something. As you can saw, Wukong just went into the backline and actually saved the play. As it turned out, it was 3 for 4 instead of just 3 for 1 or 4 for 1.
Yeah, big win there for Sand Ninjas.
Definitely
end up
shutdowns.
Yeah, they did lose the Lulu, I think, as well, so that is still not ideal. But the fact that you get more gold to the Camille, she could be a frontliner at this point, right? Like you have Maokai Camille, they're able to at least buy space here, and the resets from Jinx starting to hurt a little bit. So they've got to watch this. Ornn trying to upgrade items does have to back away as our Baron is spawning in 30 seconds here.
Yeah, it's almost surprising that Ornn's deciding to upgrade Nautilus item instead of the Sunder onto the Wukong.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that too.
More damage.
Or the Syndra. I don't know. That one's definitely weird.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting to see Nautilus get the upgrade instead of the damage carry that's been happening. There is a last Whistler, so she's probably on the Jinx, so she's definitely looking for the Lord Dons, as she does see that there is a lot of tanks. Camille is pushing towards the bot side, pushing towards the lanes. Wukong does have to answer, so it is a 4v4 right now in the mid lane.
Yeah, the question is, can Wukong answer? Because that is the tower going down, and now efficiency, so much damage. There's the late game Camille that you expect to see. There's Ornn ult will get dodged, at least from the beginning, but Fatty Doink gets hit by the knockups, and that's just going to be a dead Camille. Baron is started, as that is a lot of people on the bot side. Mystic Shadow hits a really good stun, but they're going to continue on. Perklo trying to buy time here as Ornn is coming in. That is going to be the Baron picked up, the disengaged, the Sorelias to get out. So they lose one in the process, but it is a objective bounty Baron going to Sand Ninjas.
Yeah, Camille, they pushed down towards the jungler because the only person who can really deal with Camille is honestly Wukong, as we were pointing out earlier into this game. Ornn does have to help. Wukong can't even deal with Camille. It has to be 2 for Camille, and as soon as they saw that, Camille probably was shouting to BC, just go up to Baron, don't worry about me. And they did, they listened.
Yeah, and I think that's what we wanted to see from this Camille late game, right? Like, we know that she's not as powerful in terms of just team fight potential outside of the ultimate, but she is so difficult to fight at this point in the game, 1v1, that you can do stuff across the map. We do see it picked up. Camille is here for this fight as the dragon is spawning. This is Soul if it is picked up by VP.
Yeah, and I feel like VP does have a giant lead onto this one. Wukong being at 4 items and Maokai only being at 2.
Look at the gold here. Gold is even.
That's crazy to see.
Yeah, efficiency is caught out though. Gets hit over by the blast cone. Big stun by the Syndra, but it's not enough. Efficiency does die in the process. Ornn coming around trying to get onto the Jinx, but I Am Ready is just getting burned down. Wang, but dang, over the wall, hitting so many shots. Law trying to get over now. Perklo has to burn that Zhonya's as we see the Jinx go down. Law stays alive, and that is 3 people alive. 4 dead for Sand Ninjas, and that will be the soul picked up by VP.
Yeah, they were picked out, but Ornn was not picked out. Ornn was staying alive, being able to CC their entire team, so there was no follow-up onto that Talia ultimate. Catching out there. That was a really good setup for Sand Ninjas. They just couldn't get Ornn away from them, and Ornn just knocks them up, and they can't really say much about it.
Yeah, it looked so good from the start, but Wang Badang just eventually collapsed on there. Did not have protection enough here.
Yeah,
thought Wukong dying is enough, but it was just not entirely true.
Yeah, Camille does lose stack onto a Ravenous, so that could maybe lose a little bit of damage. I don't feel like that's going to be possibly a thing, though. It doesn't really matter.
It's already stacking back up.
Yeah, it's already stacking back
it stacks up pretty
almost. But Ornn just has all armor. There is, even with Lord Doms, the Jinx doesn't really touch the Ornn, especially having Randuin's Omen, making you just can't really say much about Ornn. Ornn just being the guy he is.
Yeah, Ornn is just a frontliner here, and it does mean that Perklo is incredibly important to keep alive in these fights, because if Ornn is not dead, Perklo is needed to actually get any damage through here.
Yeah, as soon as Perklo dies, Camille is a worry for Ornn. I feel like still, you just gotta time the team fights correctly into the Ornn. Because once Ornn dies, as you saw, the Wukong melted in front of their eyes, as you saw. But the Ornn just doesn't. So they need to be able to get the Ornn away from him.
We're seeing the engage here. Perklo's going so deep. There's no team to follow up here, and Perklo's just going to die in the process. They don't even have the Jinx ready to go as they're trying to continue forward now. They're on to Jinx. Lulu has to keep her alive, and I don't know if Wang Badang is going to stay alive. Efficiency is just too damn strong. Takes another one out, and now we're seeing the power of this late game Wukong ultimate shredding through people as Mystic Shadow is absolutely decimating people.
Yeah, Camille knew the fight was lost, so she went on the back line and practically one-shotted the Isaiah. Isaiah tried ulting, but as we said, she's stuck in that prison. She can't really do much about it. And so Isaiah luckily does die. This means it probably means the VP can't end the game just yet, as Isaiah is dead.
Yeah, without the Zaya, a little bit hard to siege here, especially when you do know that the timers are starting to come back up. So, that does mean we are just kind of waiting. Minute 30 for our third Baron here of the night, or of this game rather.
Yeah, just Talia does have a Dark Seal, which is kind of interesting. She's had it for a while now. I feel like it's almost to the point where she needs to sell it nearly, trying to get that Zonias as soon as she can, because she is getting caught out quite a bit in these fights as they're going for her, almost. But Talia ult, as you saw, there was a Talia ult. It seems like there was communication there, but there was no communication to follow up onto the Talia being able to knock back anyone that was there.
Yeah, I think really just a little bit too aggro here. And that does mean that the reason that fight went bad was not because Sand Ninjas are exceedingly far behind, just a little bit of poor decision making in the process does cost them. I think Sand Ninjas still have ways to end this game strong. They just need to utilize it correctly. Baron in 20 seconds now. This very easily could be the game. Level 16 hit by the Syndra. Full stacks on that Syndra as well. So she's just continually getting stronger and stronger. 584 AP on her right now.
Yeah, there's the Orin and the Camille. Orin's going to try stopping the Camille here, but I don't know who wins this one, actually. Orin does do a lot of damage randomly.
I think Camille is really, really good if she sticks to it. But now, seeing Baron started up by VP, no Camille here as the flash goes in. Davaji does not pick up that Baron, and that's going to be just a dead Maokai. It takes a little while, but he will go down. That does mean jungler dead, and a reset will have to come through. It is defensive positions now for Sand Ninjas as the game is teetering on the edge of defeat.
Yeah, and there is an Elder coming up in 1 minute and 12 seconds right now. That does mean that they do have vision control more of onto VP, being able to see what's going to happen.
Petty going in, lots of damage on that Syndra. Takes very little damage in response here, but he's going very deep into an entire team. Jingsalt does hit, resurrecting now as here comes Wangbadang. They have to try and kill this Camille again. They're going to get to do so. Ornalt across the entire team, and they're continuing forward. Wangbadang has no protection, and now it is just the Lulu backing away, gets over the wall, but the flash from Law picks up the kill. Quadra kill. Now we have the Maokai rather still alive now. Go for the Penta or go for the end. Which is it gonna be? I feel like they're going to go for the Penta. The hook does hit, and now they're pushing forward.
None of the steals the Penta.
I am ready. Go sit in the corner. Think about what you... Yeah, tank that tower. You deserve to tank the tower, buddy. He takes the Penta, but does not take the game. The game is going to VP, and that is the series as well. 2-0 in a dominating fashion.
Orin being 0 deaths is what we wanted to see at the end of this game, too.
Yeah. Very, very strong there. And just 2-0 there for Viticulture PInot, who have just... I mean, game 1 looked pretty solid. Game 2, it looked rough for a little bit. I think they had ample opportunity to just dominate the game even harder. But at the end of the day, they didn't ever really give up a lead.
Yeah, I mean, the second game, they're actually really close. I think the Camille just bit off more than she could chew. She tried to go in on them, but if she just stayed back with her team and followed through with her team, their game was still winnable for Sand Ninjas.
Yeah, game definitely felt winnable, but at the end of the day, it is going to be going over to VP, who do take the 2-0 victory. And I think with that is going to be it from us tonight. I am Thousand Eyes. That is SeveerBard. Thank you guys for watching. We hope to see you next time.
Have a great night.